Nerdcast assemble!
Stay dandy, baby.
Could the Hashirama Cells be the key to gaining eternal youth? That's the question in the latest episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. That's right, my friends, the Kara arc is continuing, and it's going off and pretty much doing its own thing at this point. I've pretty much accepted that the first major arc of Kara is going to be unlike anything that we've actually seen in the manga version, and in some ways I'm okay with it, in other ways, it's kind of meh. That's kind of the feeling that I'm kind of getting from this entire episode right here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still actually enjoying it. I love that they're actually expanding a little bit more on the Kara organization, but the thing is, while this is officially the Kara arc, it's actually involving a lot of stuff that doesn't really involve them all that much, or if it is involved with them, it's more of just inadvertently involving them. So basically, this entire episode is picking up from the end of the last one, where Boruto and his team had met Kirisaki, the creepy medical ninja, and Konohamaru had transformed into him, and they met this weird, creepy, old penguin-looking dude on the bridge who had the Hashirama cells inside of his body, and he suddenly had collapsed. This is when Konohamaru makes the executive decision that they're going to use those antibodies and actually heal this guy, which may or may not be a good decision, all considering that he only had one vial of this stuff. We can only hope that Yubina is going to be able to make more of this, but the fact of the matter is, they save this old codger, who basically decides that he is going to try and enlist their help to help out his master, this woman who goes by the name of Lady Sakuya. And Lady Sakuya is a total bitch. Basically, Sakuya is this super old, vain woman who simply just wants to be young again, and she wants to use the Hashirama cells to gain eternal youth. Apparently, this is something that she thinks is actually possible, and she enlists the help of any sort of goon or ninja that she can find in order to make this happen. And she does have the Hashirama cells, but she decided to test them out on her penguin butler, which did not work at all, so I don't know why she thinks this is going to work, but I guess that's why she's enlisting the help of this Dr. Kirisaki, who supposedly is going to be able to properly use these Hashirama cells. But basically, Sakuya is just a total bitch. Like, there's not much more to her character in this episode outside of the fact that she's very vain and she hates the way that she looks. In fact, a nice little visual detail is that when we actually go to her home, this massive castle, is that all of the mirrors are actually completely destroyed and crushed in her house because she simply hates looking at herself. But basically, that's the entire point of this episode, is that Boruto and Konohamaru are going to have to try and sneak into this castle to take the Hashirama cell back, while both Sarada and Mugino are going to sort of like hold back and sort of act as backup for them. And basically, when they actually arrive at this place for the first time, they end up getting captured. Or really, it's Boruto who ends up getting captured with his trap, where he ends up basically getting like completely encased in chains, and he's about to be injected with the Hashirama cells. However, Konohamaru hilariously creates a freaking distraction in order to prevent this from happening, while Boruto's shadow clone is able to basically take his place, and he's able to go and try and find these Hashirama cells, when suddenly he discovers Lady Sakuya has suddenly been killed. Just out of nowhere, a kunai thrown directly into the back of her freaking neck, and it's thanks to those like 4 dudes who were actually hanging out in the last episode. The ladies, as they were called, are actually the men, basically using their transformation jutsu, and it looks like they're after this Hashirama cell as well, and basically they've been using Boruto's group in order to learn a little more information about it, and how they can find it, and how they're actually going to frame Boruto for actually killing Lady Sakuya in this episode. And to make matters worse, and the thing that probably excited me the most in this episode, is that we actually go back to the character of Victor and the other mysterious member of Kara who goes by the name of Deepa. And essentially Deepa is going to be going to the Land of Silence to actually get this Hashirama cell himself, which of course means he's going to intercept Boruto and his team, which has got me more excited than anything else that's actually going on here. Anything that actually involves directly the members of Kara is definitely the best thing about this episode. Otherwise, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not great either. It's somewhere in between. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations? While I'm very excited to get back to reviewing and watching the Boruto anime series, I have to say that this is probably the weakest episode that I've seen in quite a while. And there's nothing even really inherently bad about it. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be very important in the overall grand scheme of things, especially when we know that Victor and Deepa are in the background and are infinitely more important than any of these like 4 purple-haired goons who don't look like they're going to be much of a, problem for Boruto, Konohamaru, and their group. I mean, Boruto and Konohamaru alone could take these guys out, but they freaking got Sarada and Mugi, helping out too. Like, these guys are just going to get absolutely wrecked. The only thing that adds a little bit of tension to the end of the episode is that when they're actually still stuck in the castle, these guys actually, like, run out into the town, and they actually say that someone has attacked Lady Sakya, and there's, like, going to be, like, a big reward for it. So pretty much everybody in the Land of Silence is getting their torches and pitchforks, and they're getting ready to storm the castle Frankenstein style, and they're going to try and, like, hunt these guys down. So they're going to have to find out how to contend with all of these crazy citizens in a land which has absolutely no rules, no shinobi law. They're going to have to do something a little different here, and the fact that Deepa is going to be making his way here, the conflict is about to get really big, and basically this is just sort of like a build-up to all of that. I'm kind of excited to see how it's actually all going to go, but overall, this entire side story with this Lady Sakya and this penguin butler and everything, it's not really doing all that much for me, but I know that it's going to be like a stepping stone for the next part of the series, and in that sense, I am excited to see what's going to happen next. Otherwise, I just thought that this was kind of an average episode, and that's just kind of me speaking from the heart. Your mileage may vary. You might like this episode a lot more than me, but overall, it's just kind of, that's just kind of the feeling I'm getting from it. I'm going to give this episode a 3 out of 5. That's just my overall thoughts here. Nothing great, nothing too bad, just, like I said, just kind of average, just somewhere in the middle. And that goes for the production value as well. It looks good for the most part, but there's really nothing here that demands a lot of really good and crazy animation. I did think it was a little weird that a lot of the characters basically got stabbed by kunai in this episode. We did not see any blood. I don't know. The series gets really violent at the weirdest times, and then other times it seems to hold back. I don't know. Like I said, it's a minor nitpick, really, but overall, it's still, my thoughts stand. Just kind of an average episode. But you might have a different opinion, and that is why I love making these videos, is to hear from you guys. Make sure to sound off in the comment section below telling me what you thought about this episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Did you like it more than I did? Do you like the story that's currently going on here? Do you have any theories as to what's going to be happening next with the big Hashirama Cells? Is Deepa going to come in and things are going to get crazy? What do you hope to see from the rest of the car arc? Make sure to sound off in the comment section below, and please make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. If you did like the video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. I would also like to thank all of my patrons. Not only are you guys freaking amazing by making donations to the channel, but you can be giving me some great feedback on all of my videos. Remember, if you make a first small-time donation to my Patreon, I'll review an anime series of your choice, and I would love to add your name to this list of super awesome people who support this channel every single day. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.